Hi, everybody. It is Tuesday, August 16th. And what I was going to talk about today is I'm going to try to take away some stress if you guys feel stressed out or vulnerable. I just kind of want to reassure you that what's going on, this dramatic situation that we're going on, is very much under control. Um, and if I can just kind of, this is going to sound out there and everything, but just sort of reassure you that we've got a lot of protection. I remember when I was first getting downloads and getting telepathic messages, was one of the things that they told me was I was being protected while I was down here, and then it manifested itself because they always give me heads up to avoid accidents and dangerous situations. Well, Earth right now is basically being protected by, I'm just going to just say it, but by off-world entities, or call them extraterrestrials or whatever you want to call them. But they're all, in a sense, our relatives, all of our cousins, and it's our family. Call it Star Family, I guess. But we were kind of vulnerable for quite some time because Earth, as we have kind of figured out by now, was kidnapped and being manipulated. And I mean, it's a bigger story, but I'm just trying to reassure everybody that right now there's at least 750 ships surrounding Earth and in our solar system, kind of, well, monitoring, but also making sure no bad entities come in anymore. So we've got that sort of under wraps, and yeah, they're watching us. To be honest, this is I mean, I call it a classroom, but basically it's like we're graduating, or we're ascending to a higher frequency, as you've kind of heard before. But that's kind of what's going on. But they also understand what we've been through, so they're treating us with kid gloves in that way, that they're and also under the main rule of non-interference too. But they're standing back and monitoring the situation. So that's why not only will we see more things in the sky, more UFOs and things, but also we'll have more interactions. So this isn't just me getting telepathic messages. A lot of other people are going to be getting a lot more uh, basic information and having this dialogue with off-world beings that are connected to them. And because there's so many different versions and so many different families out there, we all communicate differently to each other, and also we have a little different piece of the puzzle too. So you got to remember, so whoever's contacting you is seeing things from their perspective, and then now you're seeing things from your perspective too. So that's why a lot of time you see information doesn't quite mesh up. It's like, well, I didn't get that message, but well, if you did, I can piece that together. As we go forward, what I've been noticing is, if I'll just call it a storyline, but it's like what's going on. This basic storyline that what's been happening is getting more and more clear, and it's making more sense. So as bizarre as it is, we were stuck in, not stuck, but because we're being controlled, they also tried to control the narrative as best as possible and talk about our controllers, the ones that were in control. The only ones left now are the ones that fell along with the story, and that was the human versions of it, because we've been affected by ETs. I mean, that's going to come out sooner or later. We've been manipulated by off-world entities, but they've been kicked off for the most part. I'm not saying 100%, but from what I get, it's like up to 98% of the bad ETs, and so now, and including booted out of the solar system. So so we're safe, is what I'm saying, from them, from the original people that were messing with us. Now, what makes it more complicated, and that's why I don't want to go into it too much here, but there's other dimensions and things like that. But don't worry, we're under watchful eyes, so we're totally okay. But the main theme for us, especially because we've been hijacked and kidnapped and played and farmed, the main storyline is we have got something that a lot of negative ETs want to exploit. So they've switched the narrative to make us feel, abandoned and downtrodden, and we're kind of useless, and whatever. And they make themselves look as if they're above us. It's like as if they've got, which they do. They have tech, but what's interesting is they have advanced technology to try to duplicate what we can do naturally, and that's really what's going on here. Is they want what we've got, and they've been trying to figure out how to do that, and they've done it with abducting people and trying to hybridize themselves with it. They're trying to incorporate what we've got into them. So we're the ones that we've got the goods. Let me put it that way. So, I mean, obviously this wouldn't be a problem at all. If we were as useless as they think they've tried to explain to us that we're these little useless little beings on this planet, and they're, in a sense, they're playing gods with us. If that was true, why are they sticking around? I mean, it's like, if they don't need us little useless beings, why are they so bent on farming us and using us? Anyway, so I can go on with that, but so ultimately what I'm saying is we're getting a lot of help, including boots on the ground. There's a lot of us on Earth right now. This is a huge plan that's been planned out for, well, I could say thousands of years minimum for sure. And we've also got caught in time loops to try to correct this situation, and some of them have failed, and it gets really, really complicated. So as we go forward, when all this truth sort of starts to come out more, it'll make a lot more sense. Like, because right now, I gotta admit, we're at a crossroads where the old reality, which is basically dictated to us to stay in line and be this controlled species on this planet and follow this narrative that they've set up for us. We've all been compliant and sort of doing it over and over again. Then there's the occasional person that doesn't want to fit in and does not comply, like me. I never did ever since I came here. But they usually try to take us out or call us crazy or whatever. But anyway, we're at that crossroads where that story is going to make less and less sense, and the crazy stories that we've been talking about, like, okay, we're being messed by off-world entities, is going to start making more sense. So it's like we're crossing over right now, and those two stories are going to conflict especially with people that we call them sleepy people, but in reality they're being messed with energetic things, so they can't think as clear. So so instead of making fun of them or whatever and say being impatient with them, we have to realize they're being messed with. But they're slowly going to understand the more we go forward. So that's kind of where we're heading. So kind of that's kind of the situation we're at right now. Now, there's a lot of videos out there that you'll hear people talking about specifics, like, okay, Hillary's going to get arrested, and Nassar's going to get ruled out or not or something. So you're going to hear a lot of these conflicting stories, but the main gist is there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that people just are not aware of, and it'll become more clear as we go forward. what makes things more complicated, and I don't want to even add to it right now, is the shift. And I know I've touched on it a little bit before, but it's a natural cycle anyway. That's in a sense how this operation kind of worked, is because uh, this whole planet itself even is shifting to a higher frequency, and all the beings on it, all the animals, humans, everything, including ETs, whatever, just it's being shifted. And we knew that this crossroads was coming. This is the best time to do it, because also the bad guys or the negative ETs kind of knew, well, they knew this was coming as well. And normally they try to do a complete reset in the way that they basically try to uh, take as many, basically reduce the population down to as little as possible, and put it that way. I'm trying to choose my words wisely. But so they were trying to sort of wipe us out, because we were catching on what was going on, and also there's a shift going on, so they could take advantage of that. And what they, in a sense, were trying to do, okay, this is going to get complicated a little bit, is because we are dynamos, we're this energy source. That's kind of what they need and use, because we have direct connection to source energy. I know it's going to sound wacky, that they use our dynamos to create. We can create worlds. That's the kind of power we have, and they know that. So that's why I said we've got the goods. So they've done it in the past as well, but I'm just saying they were trying to get us out of our physical bodies, and it was, try to kill us off, and then with that energy orb, in a sense, kidnap it or grab it and use it to create their worlds that they can be lords over, like to dominate. I know it sounds crazy. So so that was kind of their plan. And then what they do is they've got a reincarnation loop, and they know how to make genetic beings and stuff like that, including humanoids and stuff. And so they were going to make another population and control it again. So in other words, they've done this several times, but this time what I'm getting at is it didn't work. It failed because we knew how to stop it. The tricky part, and why I'm pretty proud of, is we learned how to stop it with absolute minimum interference, because that's in a sense what we do. That's how we try to help, is to follow the universal rules of non-interference and free will, all that stuff, and yet somehow turn that around. So we did. We learned how to do it the best way we can. We came in here. A lot of us incarnated into physical bodies, which also gave us the edge. It was like a lot of stuff going on. But anyway, so I guess in a sense what I'm trying to say with this video is we are ready to wrap this up, and we're at a really good spot. So we're not out of danger completely. There's still a lot of dangerous things going on because of the final cleanup. But also, don't fall for that narrative, because as I've told you in previous videos, and you've probably heard it so many times before, is that's how they manipulate the herd. It's through fear. They've got cattle prods and stuff. It's just the news is always bad. It's negative, and they're always making stuff up, and because we, in a sense, manifest what they're scaring us into. If they told us, there's a scary monster down the street, you better pack up your stuff and run, a lot of us fall for it. They go, oh, okay, what if you say so? I'm just saying, don't fall for stories and stuff. We gotta stay out of fear. So anyway, that's kind of the situation we're in right now. So I'm just trying to simplify and give you guys some positive news, and so you don't have to worry so much, including, obviously, another. I can't say the word probably because I'll get taken off, but another flu season coming, whatever. Like all these fearful things, just don't fall for them. And because once you realize that when you fall for them, that's how you manifest it. So in a sense, we're our own worst enemies because we make a world according to what they're telling us to make. So we have to, in our minds, just kind of ignore what's going on as much as you can. And that's why I think positive is so important, is we're creating a new world that we're going to be going into. And yeah, I guess while I'm here, I'll might as well bring up that subject too. But so when we shift, what they've shown me is it's going to be weird because there'll be some things, a lot of things will be changing, but yet we won't notice them. It's kind of hard to explain. It's going to be very much like the Mandela effect. But anyway, so when we shift, we're still taking this storyline that we've created, because we created this world. We've got the Empire State Building, we've got the Eiffel Tower, all these buildings, this kind of this world. We're taking this whole world, this whole civilization that we created. Granted, we created under our controllers. So if we were left to our own devices, it would look a lot different. But I'm told that we're going to be taking that forward, that storyline forward, and then change it as we go more into the future. Change it into a positive timeline with old technology, really, really old technology, like free energy, beds. That's really old technology. We're actually bringing that back as we go forward, and we'll have longer lifespans. Money will change completely because in the future we're not going to need money. Things like that. Transportation will change differently. We'll be more of a galactic civilization, as in we'll have more contact with outside entities openly rather than in the past it was all covertly. And also they were only dealing with mostly our controllers at the time. They made sure of that, and they made sure that we didn't know about extraterrestrials and things like that. Well, that's going to change. Anyway, so hopefully that this will take some stress off people if you're kind of worried about where we're going. So that's my little update for today, and I'll talk to you guys maybe next week or something. Okay, bye.